Hey everybody, we got a brand new episode of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers, and we are going to talk about the important things like my beard. We'll also discuss teacher stuff. Houston ISD, we see a lot of crazy things going on in Houston, and there's a teacher that hosted some house parties for her students, and we're going to wrap it up with a banning of social media for kids below 14. What kind of impact is that going to have on the world and your classroom? We'll be back with a new episode starting now, Crying in My Car, podcast for teachers. Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new edition of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. My name is Devin Siebold. I got my good buddy, Mr. James Yon here.
Thank you.
And James, you are a comedian and a parent. I am a comedian and a teacher. We are here to hopefully come together on things and find some middle ground and hopefully have some laughs yes.
I'm laughing because I know teachers. I've gotten to meet a whole lot of them. I know every single time when you say James is a parent, they're like, boo.
They're in their car like, and that's off. We're turning that one away.
We want to make sure that relationships gets better. We
Right.
really do, between parent and teacher. We both want the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you'd like to support the podcast, patreon.com/crying in my car. Patreon.com/crying in my car. And I want to give a shout out to our new members because we do have some new members for the Crying in My Car squad. Let's see here.
Gang.
I want to make sure. Now, I also want to tell you, we have been very kind to our subscribers, the people that stayed with us for that year where we weren't really posting that much on there. I have an amazing gift going out for you. It took some time finding this one because I didn't want to just send out the usual sticker. I didn't want to send out the usual whatever. I wanted to send out something special. And we have something special coming your way.
Gotcha.
And the new subscribers, you get a shout out on here.
Yes.
We're also going to send a personalized video, and you get all the kind of back episodes. There's over 50 back episodes on there that you cannot find anywhere on iTunes.
Exclusive.
Yep, exclusive to there. And also, you get exclusive content, some reels and stuff that we're going to put out, and hopefully make your day a little bit better. Now, we have some new members. We have Alexis Perez. Alexis Perez, big shout out to you, subscribing over on Patreon. And we had one more, but I don't see the name. We'll announce that one on the next week.
Promise.
But, yeah, shout out to Alexis Perez for signing up for Patreon. And again, if you want your name shout out on Crying in My Car, this is how you do it. Support us.
I want to share something with you, Devin.
Okay.
I'm a comedian, like you said, and I've been doing cruise ships.
Oh, yeah, you have. Yeah.
I have been. I've been really enjoying them, but I've been finding that there's a lot of teachers on cruise ships.
Yeah, it's as far away from children as we can get.
Where are we at?
Yeah.
Okay, can we go farther, Captain? Yeah, but you're absolutely right. So I've been meeting a lot of teachers, and I tell them about the podcast, and they didn't know about it, and they're like, we're going to listen now. The thing I love about telling teachers about the podcast, as soon as they hear the name, they're like, oh, yeah, that tracks.
Yep.
As soon as I tell them it's called a Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers, they're like, oh, yeah. Yeah.
You know what's funny to me is like I'll do shows with the Board Teachers Comedy Tour.
Yeah.
Board Teachers Comedy Tour coming to a city near you.
Uh-huh.
And the people will come running up to me, and the security from the show is standing there behind us, the people that are taking the photos and stuff. And people will come running up to me and they'll go, crying in my car. And like the security's like, what? What?
Why?
Yeah.
Did this man do something to you?
And, I'm like, no, it's my podcast. It's fine.
You have to explain that to people.
It does take a little bit
I
of
will
explaining.
say it is the best name for a teacher's podcast.
It is.
In the history, man. It's
and
great.
the truth is, the way it came up is I was literally sitting in my car.
Yes.
And I was like on the verge of tears, and I was like, I need a podcast to get this out. And I went on Facebook and I typed up, what should my podcast be? And I don't remember the original names. I'll have to find it. But there was like, a day in the life of a teacher, or venting, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then I was like, or just crying in my car. And I threw that out as like a funny, like, this is never going to happen. And it was overwhelmingly by teachers, the number one. They're like, that's the one. That's the one.
They're like, I'm right there right now.
Also, James, I don't know if you noticed, but grew a beard.
You did. You look very manly, by the way.
Yeah,
you
I
do.
know. I don't know what to do with it. I don't.
What made you decide to grow it out?
I don't know. I grow, and then I shave, and I've gotten so many people say, just grow it.
Yeah.
And you know what's wild is I grew it, and I started getting more compliments after the show, and like ladies hitting on me. They're like, so you got a girl, and I'm like, it's the beard. Wow.
And Devin's like, do I?
But the beard, I don't. And the funny thing is I've not had a beard in a while.
No, you haven't.
I used to do if you look at old pictures of me, I'm usually unrecognizable because I think when you first met me, I even had like long hair. Like I used to tuck it behind my ears.
Yeah.
Like I've had I shaved my head through college. I've never been committed to a look.
You were shaved.
Yeah, I've never been committed to a look.
Okay.
Ever. I had hair like you.
That's
for
funny.
all through college. Yeah.
Okay.
And I just didn't know what to do. So I'm not set on it. I have no idea.
Gotcha.
But what's funny is one of the last times I had a long beard was when I first started teaching. Mm-hmm. I was reminded because I saw some old pictures of me with a beard, and I was like, oh, I remember that. And the reason is I had just graduated college.
Okay.
I graduated a little early. I was 21 years old, taking a job teaching 19-year-olds in intensive reading.
Yeah.
So there was only 2-year difference. Mm-hmm. That's it. And I grew a beard because I wanted to look older, And
it made you look.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, I'm in class and they're like, Mr. Siebold, how was your day? It's like, well, pretty good day compared to my time in NAM. Like you have to, like,
you have the same
pretend.
interest.
You have to pretend you were so much older than them,
Yeah.
or else they will eat you alive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I grew the beard, I had the longer hair, and the kids were like, how old are you? And I'm like, oh no, it's been a while since I've thought about that. It's, what's the Roman numeral for 1800?
Yeah,
I don't.
That's me. So funny.
I honestly grew the beard then, and then I shaved it, later.
Yeah.
And I've never been a clean shaven person. I never liked the razors, the clean shaving.
Really?
Didn't like that. I'll usually use like a beard trimmer and just get it down to like stubble, but
Not
I don't know.
all the way like that. For me though, if I shave my beard, I look pubescent.
Yeah.
Like I look like right now with this beard, I'm Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
But if I shave this, I'm Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Like I look like a baby.
All right, you want to jump into the teachers in the news, my friend?
Let's do it.
All right, teachers in the news, James. This one, I'm not going to lie, I actually got an update on this one on the way here.
Uh-oh.
That blew my mind, okay? And I got to bring up the update because I just am not going to do it any justice. I was floored by this one, and I hate that we are recording this because I know that it's going to be a hot topic like right now. Yeah. But in Brevard County, where I grew up, in Brevard County, a principal was arrested because they had thrown a white lie party, is what they called it, with over 300 children attending, showing up and drinking alcohol.
You know why I'm smiling?
The principal.
You know why I'm smiling?
Why?
I heard this story.
Did you hear this story? It's all over
and
the
I
place.
said, please don't be Florida. Please don't be Florida.
Yeah,
Please don't
right?
be Florida.
And the teachers read the story and were like, no invite? Wow. Wow. Yeah, the DUI test was especially complicated because no one at the party had learned their ABCs yet. It's very difficult. You can't say them backwards if you don't know them forwards. Now, I wrote all that stuff because I thought this was like a one-off party. More has came out about this.
Oh, man.
Apparently, the arrest affidavit for the third grade teacher and for her involvement in the principal's underage house party says that drug use by minors also occurred, excessive drinking, fights, guns pointed at other students, all via Snapchat. Now, these are like third graders, just so you're aware.
Good Lord, man.
And it says that apparently these parties were hosted twice a month.
It was wait a minute.
It was a multiple occasion thing.
It was a return.
I mean, like, I'm sitting here going,
It's a festival like Lollapalooza. Like
it is. It's literally Burning Man. The kids are just out there.
I know it's not funny, and parents, I'm not laughing because I'm laughing at how ridiculous this is.
It's one of those things where you have to laugh at how absurd.
Yes.
How did they not get? First off, how did you not get caught? I want to talk to these parents. How do you have over 300 children on Snapchat who are posting guns and drugs and coming home? First off, why did they leave your house as a third grader without you knowing exactly where they were going and what they were doing? And how did they come home drunk? And you go,
you know what the bad part is?
What?
As a parent, you know why they probably were allowed to go?
Why? Because it's a teacher.
It's a teacher's home. Think about it. If one of your
Trust.
teachers says, I'm hosting something for kids, you're like, oh, this is great. My kids can go hang out there. So they were thinking, oh, my kid's going to go there and learn, or they're going to do something. They're going to team building. Yeah, they were team building. They were doing keg stands. Like
There was no Clifford. There was Mad Dog 2020.
Yes. Jeez.
But
that then is going to create ripples in a community where people are going to be like, well, do I trust teachers?
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
It's one of those things where one person messes up and you go and you go, no.
No, it's not.
99.999% of teachers would just be floored that this was even able to occur, would never even think of something like this. And, but this one, a principal?
And she had a teacher there.
With a teacher there?
And a teacher there. Like, yeah, this is okay.
Yeah.
But what's your thinking? And I know this woman can't be okay. I mean, you had third graders drinking.
Well, I mean, if I was the teacher and the principal invited me over and was like, hey, there's going to be 300 kids there and also alcohol, I'd be like, well, that's a lot of alcohol for me.
Or is it?
Yeah. But, I mean, the first time you see something go wrong, and guns? Flashing guns at each other on Snapchat. What are you doing? And how is this, like, several of these have occurred, apparently?
Like, twice a month? Like, how do you get away? How do the neighbors not say anything? Like, this looks weird. All these kids here.
I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't get it, man.
She literally was hosting the party from Pinocchio, the one on the island where all the kids are just doing whatever.
Yes, they want. Yeah, it's what is it? Peter Pan?
No, it's
Neverland.
Yeah, Neverland. Yeah,
That's what it is.
The Lost Children.
Lost Children.
But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm sure more is going to come out about it.
One final question about this: they were actually Snapchatting. Is how they communicated, or that's what they were?
It was on Snapchat. It said that the arrest affidavit showed that they had actually been communicating on Snapchat about it.
Oh, man. Social media.
Yep. All right. Houston.
Yeah,
we talked about Houston
we have
quite a bit.
Houston always has a problem.
At Houston ISD, the leadership is patting themselves on the back because they said teacher absences have declined ever since the state takeover.
Uh-oh.
Yes, that's like saying, I'm a ship captain, and I've noticed there's been 100% increase in compliance since the floggings. Therefore, everybody must love me as captain. I'm sure I am a great captain.
Not gonna lie, I need a good flogging.
Right.
Yeah.
They went from an average of 9 absences per year. Per teacher down to 7. The district said it is because of a more strict approval process for the absences.
You mean strict like
so if they
saying,
just tell you no.
No, yeah, that's
then of course they're like, you know what? We said no a lot this year, and they listened.
Could we just look at this for a second? When you were a teacher, Devin, they had certain rules for students being absent.
Yeah.
How many absences could you have in 9 weeks?
It was 9. It was 9. 9 was the max, I think. This is teacher absences.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So kids can be absent 9 times out of 9 weeks.
Like once a week. That seems excessive. I think it was 9 times a year.
No, I think you're right though.
Yeah. Oh,
but then you tell the teacher you can only miss work.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, barring an emergency, 9 times.
Right.
That seems a little once a month you can be gone. I don't care what happens in your life. One time you can be gone. I don't care if you have a doctor's appointment. I don't care if you have a family emergency. I don't care if someone has a funeral. No, that seems like it's unreasonable.
It is unreasonable.
How?
I've never understood putting limits on absences, and I hate that. I know that there will be a very few that will abuse the system, of course, but also, there's been times where teachers have been like, yeah, my husband died. And it's like, please take a month off. Like
that's what I mean. Yes.
But literally they're filling out FMLA paperwork and the district's like, okay, well, we got a maximum of, how do you put a time limit on grievance?
On grief, yeah.
How do you put a time limit on, things like, there's a lot of young teachers out there, you have a miscarriage or something.
Yes.
And there's no box to check for that, know? And it's like, that's time away. How do you go back into the classroom right away?
You can't. And let's say you are a parent as well. You know how kids get sick. You know how it spreads. So they're going to have to stay home sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Sickness, too.
Yeah. Like, what do you do?
And some sicknesses are a lot longer. And yet you have some teachers that have to go back. They're like, I've seen teachers that were deathly ill and they're like, I have to be here. And I'm like, but now you're making it to where I might not be here and other students might get sick.
But I can't miss a day, man. I got to be here. So,
we've gone from for the betterment of the community to for the betterment of the bottom line.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
So, but let's be real. The real reason that teachers in Houston haven't missed any days is because the board teachers tour has not gone through there in the past year.
That's true.
And we all know that the call-out rate after a night of drinking at the board teachers tour is very high.
Yeah, and that's just the admin.
Yeah,
so, yeah, you're right.
I always joke because we'll have Thursday shows, and I literally joke with the teachers. I say, I know there's some teachers that walked in here tonight and have already put their sub plans in for tomorrow and saw their admin and they were like, I'm sorry, I'll be there. I didn't.
I'm feeling much better. Much better.
Much better. Much better. All right, let's see. There's a Greenwich High School that is touting a new music class to engage students where the students get to join a band and perform modern music, and they have a real band experience. I don't know. I think it's a good idea.
I think that's really cool. Come on, man.
I was reading about it, and it was they literally have 4 actual bands, and they put you in a band, and you work together to make the music and create. And I think that's awesome, man.
Especially if you're trying to keep arts relevant in school.
Yeah.
Why would you not do something like that?
It's not hey, let's learn an instrument. It's let's practically apply the instrument to joining a band, being a real world, and actually business side of it too.
And that takes me back. You just reminded me of something. My son, Devin, went to the School of the Arts, and what they would do, his band teacher got creative when they wanted to raise some money and fundraise. They would actually take the jazz band and make an ensemble, and they would go around to all the local restaurants, and the local restaurants would donate money to the jazz ensemble to just come in and play jazz music while people ate.
That's nice.
That was my son loved it, man.
Yep.
And
real world. I love
yes.
the real world stuff. I've said this before, but when I was in the gifted program, we grew cucumbers and tomatoes, and didn't stop there. We packaged them and put stickers on them and sold them at our local Publix. And we made money, and we could go in and see our produce right there ready to sell. I don't think that they would allow that today, but still, kind of cool. The last one, a teacher in Connecticut is being put on leave after refusing to take down her small cross on the wall behind her desk. There was a small cross that she had on the wall behind her desk. The district, they hated it because they said that it was, meant to ward off evil spirits, and they can't enter the room. they're upset about it. They're not
Every time they walk in.
But it's just, to be honest with you, I think we're overreacting on this one. I saw the photo. It is tiny. What was weird, though, is they were reacting to the cross on the wall, and there was an actual Christmas tree in the room. And the Christmas tree had a little cross in front of it, too. And I was like, okay, are we not aware of other symbolism? Where does it stop, And I disagree with it. I think we'll talk about that more in a second. To be honest with you, I also noticed something else about it. Yeah. She hung the cross up on the wall next to her student work. And a student, can you imagine as a student seeing your paper next to the cross and you're like, do I need Jesus? Did I?
I'm just gonna let you know you're coming back. Is what I'm saying. You're not passing this class. Yeah.
But I mean, growing up, I remember teachers that I distinctly remember they had little crosses around their neck.
Yeah.
And if you can wear a little cross around your neck and go right up to talk to a kid, I don't see how having a small one behind your desk is.
Well, my question is this: I don't know the rules of being a teacher, Devin. What's the rules when it comes to having any kind of religious symbol?
I don't know.
If you're not preaching it, if you're not teaching it, shouldn't it be okay?
But it's a part of you. Yeah, I think that it should be allowed to. I mean, I think that we should have. I just think suppressing that kind of stuff creates in the future more fear and lack of awareness when it comes to diversity. Because, seeing other people, there was jobs that I worked at, I remember I worked at a Longhorn and we had our dishwasher was Muslim and he would have to take a break during the prayer and he would go into the dry storage area and he would lay out his mat and he would pray. And I remember one time I walked by and I was like, oh. And after he was done, I just started talking to him about it. And I became more aware of the requirements of what he was doing and more aware of his religion.
Absolutely.
And, sometimes you would see, I remember growing up and I'd see students come in on Ash Wednesday and they would have ash on their forehead.
I saw that all the time.
I'd be like, what's that? And they'd be like, oh, it's Ash Wednesday. Here's what we do. And I'd be like, oh, okay. And Jewish students would be out on certain days and then they'd come back and they're like, sorry, I was out yesterday. I was celebrating this.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, what is Yom Kippur?
Yeah.
What is that? And we would talk.
Yeah.
And we'd have discussions. And
learn.
I'd go, oh, that's what you do. And that's what I do. And I remember a friend of mine, Kasim, he was a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
And we had like a Halloween activity one time. And he was like, I can't participate. And I remember the teacher didn't make a big deal out of it. And we talked a little bit about it. And he shared a little bit about what his beliefs were around the holiday. And we were like, oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
And then we continued on with our Halloween thing. But it broke down a wall of fear, of suspicion, of, not knowing.
You're weird. Yeah.
And
absolutely.
so I just don't think that it's necessary to go, let's just hide everything. Because when you hide everything, the first time kids see it, then they're fearful.
They are.
If you gradually make them more aware that other people have different religions and different ideas and different...
And that's okay.
Yeah.
We're overcorrecting.
Well, she's on paid leave, so we'll see what the result is of that. And honestly, I think a lot of teachers are probably looking at this one too, because I do know that she's not the only one.
No. But you know what I'm going to do, Devin? When it comes to this story, I'm going to pray on it.
Yep. You need Jesus.
Yes.
All right. Let's now talk about your topic that I wanted to save till the end of here. The banning of something in Florida, which I mean, that could be anything nowadays.
What do you mean meth's illegal?
Actually, they're shutting off our cameras now. We're banned.
We're banned. There you go. Well, here's the thing, man. We both have kids, and we know that kids love social media.
Yes.
No matter what it may be. There's all kinds of forms of it. But in Florida here, we have passed a law about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We are banning social media for any child under the age of 14 years old.
Ooh,
that's a big law. Like that's huge
that's
here.
90% of TikTok.
Yes. Yes. Well, and TikTok's back, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you still have your TikTok?
I do have TikTok. Yeah.
Gotcha. I heard this, and this is on a little tangent. If you disabled it or if you deleted the actual app, you cannot download it again.
Yeah, I knew that was coming, by the way.
Gotcha. Yes.
And I did not delete because I knew it would come back.
I didn't delete either. Yes.
Yeah.
I still have mine. So if you guys want to look at TikTok, I'll be charging a minimal fee. But what this is, these are key points about this. 14 and 15-year-old kids, if they have social media, they have to have a parent or guardian's permission.
Okay. Under 14, no. 14 to 15, permission.
Permission. Now, I wanted to know really quick, what are your thoughts as a parent with kids that are young not being able to use social media?
I think it's
a great
so good.
Okay.
I'm 100% for this ban.
Okay.
I hope that the parents take it seriously.
Okay.
That's the thing is, you can tell the government can tell you what to do all day long, but the parents aren't going to take it seriously. They'll just tell their kid, oh, just lie and say you're 20.
Yes.
And just, use a VPN and say you're from a different state. Things like that. And personally, I mean, I know that there are, from what I've seen in the classroom, there are detrimental effects on the mental health of children because they are developing still and they are taking in ideas. And if the ideas that they are constantly seeing online are substandard beauty or
superficial, yeah.
That's what word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Superficial beauty standards.
Yes.
And relationship, deep stuff. Things that are they're just not ready for yet.
Online bullying.
Online bullying. Yeah.
Because what social media does, in my humble opinion, to young people is, I didn't grow up with social media. So to me, it's not real life. It's just a tool or a source of entertainment. But when young kids use social media now, they think everything that they experience there is their entire life. Meaning if someone doesn't like me online, that affects them emotionally. And they think, oh my God, I'm hated. Or somebody's bullying them. They're like, I never can escape it. I'm getting bullied at school and I'm getting bullied online. So it's a sense of, it's all or nothing when it comes to social media, which I think is too much pressure for a little kid to have. They should be enjoying being a child, not trying to be liked or look a certain way, like you said, superficial beauty standards. So I totally agree with this, man. It's just, it creates more problems than I think it does solutions. And
I don't think we've even started to see the beginning of these problems.
Agreed. I think there's so much misinformation also out there that kids are taking in things that aren't necessarily true or harmful. And we just don't even see it or pay attention to it because, let's be honest, if your kid has social media on their phone, how are you monitoring it?
Right.
Where are they going? What are they looking at? Unless you have one of those.
Who are they talking to?
Who are they talking to?
Yeah.
Which is so damaging because people out there are predatory. Unfortunately, that's the world we live in. But I got a really interesting statistic, and it says that 68% of children from the age of 11 to 12 have social media accounts.
I believe it.
That's a lot of children.
Yep.
With this.
And the thing is, they're not even supposed to have them. Like
No.
when you log in,
No,
it
they're not.
says, "Are you 13 years of age or older?" And they just go, "Yes."
Yep.
And then they create these accounts, and then they just put their birth date as, it's like, you were born in the 1800s. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I am.
I look good for my age. Yeah.
It's wild, man. But they see, not only that, they see influencers online. A lot of kids want to be influencers now. Even athletes are having a lot of problems with these NIL deals because they're seeing college athletes making millions.
Yes.
And now it's not even just being pro, it's just being marketable.
Yes.
And that's the hard part, man. It's just...
And everybody thinks they need to be marketable now.
Yep. And not only that, but like, I'm saying this to divulge that I've started an OnlyBeards. And I've noticed a lot of women have came after me more lately, and
my favorite.
I'm here to market it.
Yes. Well, I was gonna say on a tangent. We could talk about this another time, but you just said something that made me think. We're talking about influencers and how kids are attracted to it. I don't know how I feel about parents using their children as influencers. There's a huge market for kids opening toys, doing certain things, and they're basically making a living, the parents, off the kids being influencers.
Yep.
Young kids. They're not even in their teens yet. Like, I'm not going to mention one, but he's really big. He used to open up toys all the time. And all of my little nephews and nieces love this kid and watch everything that he does.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the effects are. And I guess it's going to take years from now for us to see what effects being an influencer as a child is going to have when they're adults if they don't have the same attention that they had as kids.
I think it's going to be even worse than child stars because child stars were in movies and the movies were seen by like a million.
Yes.
A million people would buy a ticket. Well, these child influencers now are seen in the billions.
Yes.
And, it's impossible for them to get away from everything now. I mean, it's just impossible. Their lives now are so public and
everybody expects it to be.
Yep.
Like, they have no privacy.
And also their views, It's one thing, this is the thing you have to understand, like, child actors go through a weird period. You remember Sequest?
Yes.
Okay, so the kid on Sequest, I can't believe I'm forgetting his name because I'm a big fan of his. I liked him in Sequest. Jonathan something. He ended up... being a child actor, was very successful, and then Sequest ended. And he didn't get the calls anymore because he was older.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a kid anymore. And he wasn't competing with other kids anymore. He was competing with grown adults.
Yeah.
And had now a stigma of being that kid.
Yeah.
When you try to transition into something more adult, and you don't get the views, that's going to have a mental impact.
Absolutely.
It's going to hurt.
It is.
And at what cost, but I don't know. The first time Ryan from Ryan's World says, all right, today we're going to be reviewing my favorite cigar. And you go, but you open toys.
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah, I'm 30 now. I can't open toys anymore.
Yeah.
So today I'm going to be reviewing the new flavor of Four Loko. And we literally are like, well, I don't want to watch you review the Four Loko. And then he just takes another few Four Lokos,
Yeah.
and suddenly he's got a drinking problem.
Yes.
And anyways, I
digress.
I digress.
But I wanted to say about this law, which is interesting. The law defines a social media site as anything that does the following: allows users to upload content or view the content or activity of others.
Okay.
So this would potentially include Xbox Live.
Honestly, Xbox Live, man.
It's a dark place.
It is.
It's like the back pages of Reddit. You know what I mean? It's dark.
We have the Oculus, the Meta
Yes.
Quest, and we have that in our house. Kids love it. They play all the time. They play Gorilla Tag and Digigods.
Okay.
And they love it. It's multiplayer. When they play, there are children that are playing with them. You can hear that they are 8 and 9.
Yes.
And my kids are 8 and 9.
Yes.
And their kids playing. I tell them, I say, you can have the volume on with the talking so you can hear the other people and talk to them about the game, because it's all kids.
Yes.
Occasionally somebody will cuss and I go, all right, turn it off. I
Yeah.
say, turn off the volume, and they'll turn off the chat, because I don't like that kid in there right now, and he's cussing up a storm.
No.
Occasionally you also hear adults, and stuff like that.
Which
and
is weird for me.
Yeah, and if I hear that they're actually playing the game and they're like, go tag them, but this and that, it's like, okay. But then I have on my phone where I can monitor any incoming friend requests. I can monitor my kid's account, and anytime my kids play a game and then there's an incoming friend request, I literally will go, no, that's an adult. Denied.
Yes.
You blocked. You're not talking to my child. Sorry,
Yeah,
But if
sorry.
they got other little kids, and they have a blast, I'm not going to tell them no. It's a virtual playground.
Absolutely. That's what it is.
But as I monitor, we monitor as a family. We listen. They got to play in the living room.
Yeah.
They don't go to their room. I'm walking around. I'm listening to everything going on, and I'll even cast it on the TV. And I'll sit there and go, show me the new map. And I like to get involved in the kids, show me the new map. And they show me the map, and I can hear everybody talking, and it's good, But as soon as somebody's not good, the problem is there's not enough parents doing that.
No.
So the government
They just
now
let them
has
do
to
it in the
step
room, and they're not even there present. So this could also include YouTube as well. And I say this because
I make money on YouTube. I'm a grinch.
Okay, got it.
The kids should watch my videos.
How many kids? They should. Go ahead and plug and tell them where they can find that. But there's a ton of content for kids.
Yeah.
On it,
Yep.
for those kids. So, of course, there's a couple of big companies, tech companies, who are a little up in arms. Like, we're going to lose millions.
Yeah.
So there's been a lawsuit that has been put forward, and it's been done by the Computer and Communications Industry Association. So there's going to be a lot more that we're going to hear about this. I'll keep us updated, but I just find it very interesting.
Yeah.
When it comes to social media
And plus
kids.
teachers, the impact of the kids not being on social media anymore. I mean, that's, you know what, also though,
I didn't think
was
of that.
wondering too, like, when it comes to like talking points app and stuff like that, you
Yeah.
can message the students. Is that a social media? Is that a...
Because you can communicate.
Yeah.
You can upload pics. You can
And there's
see.
a lot of things that the kids do. Like they have actual programs in the classroom where they create accounts and they engage with other kids and they do like reading activities and
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know. But here's how I got a few ways you can tell that social media has been banned in your class. As soon as it's done, teachers are going to know, because teachers will finally put a name with a face instead of a forehead, because normally they're used to this. Now they'll be like, oh, that's what you look like. I've never seen this.
I know that brow.
Yeah. Students will now send snaps through Etch-a-Sketch. They'll be like, do you like me? Yes. And
funny.
penis drawing. Whoa.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. All right.
Then teachers can cuss out kids knowing it won't go on TikTok. We're back.
We're back.
We're back. And the number one way teachers will be able to tell they banned social media in the classroom is teachers are finally back to being the top earner in their classroom. We finally make the most money again. It feels good.
Oh, it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good.
But anyways, James, how can people find you online, my friend?
Oh, as always, you guys can hit me up at James Yan Comedian on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. We bike.
We back. You can find me online at devincomedy.com. If you want me to speak in your school, it's filling up. Teachersneedlaughter.com. patreon.com. Check that out. Also, don't forget patreon.com/cryinginmycar. You had a good laugh today, and you're like, you know what? I want to keep the laughs going. Plenty of bonus content on there, and you get all the welcome stuff as well. So patreon.com/cryinginmycar to support the podcast. And thank you so much, and we'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers.